is Gina, owner and educator of Impressive Glow Spray Tan and Teeth Whitening Training, where my ultimate mission has always been and will always be helping women, moms, single moms learn how to start a side hustle as either becoming a spray tan or teeth whitening technician and to gain some financial independence in that process. Today, if you have been living under a rock, I want to introduce you to one of the most amazing women in the sunless industry, Miss Keri Elliot of Bronze Me Babyy. I am so excited to have you. Holy cow.
That was the sweetest introduction ever, Gina. I am honored to be here. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Between all the fashion weeks and the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders and this amazing solution that you have going on, I have finally narrowed you down and said, girlfriend, you need to let me do a little bit of an interview because girls need to understand this solution and get super excited about it. So I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so, so much. If you have like 2 seconds, where you're from, what you do, and then we'll get into some serious stuff.
Well, I'm Keri Elliot. I own Bronze Me Babyy in Dallas. I've been spray tanning for like 8 or 9 years. I think almost 9. I was a stay-at-home mom. Bought a gun one Saturday night off of Amazon, and here we are.
I need to express how excited I was about your solution that we're going to talk about in a minute, but I need you to understand that as a spray tan artist, I've been in the industry almost 8 years, so we're kind of like coming in this together at the same time. And for up until I tried Swim Week, it was so hard for me as a spray tan artist because I was teaching girls how to use spray tan solution and I was spraying girls like crazy. And in the back of, like behind the scenes, I could not find a solution for me. Like my specific skin type, my specific needs of what I needed, everything kind of turned me a little bit too rich, a little bit too brassy. There were things where I just wasn't loving it until I found Swim Week. Was not until I actually became in love with spray tans for myself.
Wow.
It's the weirdest thing. So I want you to know, looking at me, you wouldn't know that I am 53% Irish.
Wow.
When girls would spray tan me or when I would go get, spray tan myself, I was always looking for like a violet based solution, just, as violet as I can get until you came out with Swim Week and Bronze Me or a couple of your other ones where you have that true brown that you can incorporate a little bit of that violet in it with it. And I kind of come up with my own concoctions of Bronze Me solutions. It wasn't until I was able to find your stuff that I have truly fell in love with spray tanning for me.
I cannot tell you I have chills. Thank you. So that's just powerful.
I have to say, it's amazing.
But one of the goals was a universal solution because I made a small fortune off of color theory classes because there's just so many solutions out there. And I wanted a line. Like I cannot tell you how many salons. I'm in every single state in the United States and I'm in Canada. I cannot tell you how many salons just use Swim Week. So when all these salons promote, we color mix, we custom mix to your skin tone. You don't have to do that with Swim Week. I mean, it literally goes on every skin tone. And so that was one of my goals.
Let's go back just a little bit.
Okay.
I want to go back 8 years.
Yep.
Why sunless? Like, what is it about spray tanning? Were you a spray tan like connoisseur before? Were you a crazy bed tanner like me? Like, where did your Bronze Me Babyy and were you always Bronze Me Babyy even as a spray tan artist?
Yes. You know what? I was raised, my father was disabled veteran. So my mom worked and dad and I in the summer or when I get home from school, first thing I do, put on my bathing suit. We had a pool. I mean, baby oil, trampoline, water sprinkler under the trampoline, Crisco oil, sheet pans, whatever we had to do. So I've always loved myself tan. Always. And I do have some Indian in me, but I get as pale as a ghost October through March. And then in the summer, I get super, super tan. So I always spray tanned locally. This girl, she's not even in business anymore. She did like $25 tans on Tuesday. We were super broke when the kids were little. And so I knew I could squander away $25 a week. I'd go on Tuesdays. She had a shower curtain from the dollar store in the back of her bed tanning salon. And it was all dark back there and brooms and mops and you'd trip over the big Rubbermaid. But I was just like this, get it all good, girl, get it. I was her best client, honey. So one day, I had a friend say to me, Keri, you need to think about your future. What, your boys are growing up. What do you, I homeschooled them. They've all gone off and got master's degrees, college degrees, double degrees, but that was my life. Had three of them. I was in full-time ministry. And she was like, what's your goal? I said, I don't know. I mean, as stupid as this sounds, I've never thought about that. Like, you're right. I mean, my kids are I never had time to think about it. She said, I want you to think about it. So that next weekend, I went on Amazon, I bought a little $180 Maximus gun, one bottle of solution, and got it all in the mail. I was so excited. And then put it out on Facebook. I was going to do it. And somebody said they wanted it to tan. And then I was like, where am I going to tan them? Like, I called my friend and I was like, I don't know where to tan them. I got on YouTube. I was like, if I'm going to tan, this is how I'm embarrassed to admit this. This is embarrassing. I said, well, dang it. I got to buy a stupid tent. I thought I just needed a gun and salute. This is ridiculous. Oh, they said something about hairnets. Anyway, popped it up in my master bedroom. I said, when this bottle of solution is gone, everybody paying. And I came from a very, very crafty home. My mama was a painter. My dad was a wood carver. My mom did florals. She was a florist. And so I did not know there were forums. I did not know there were trainings.
What's kind of funny about that story is it kind of relates to my story in a way where I started spray tanning later in life too. Like my kids were a lot older. I was in my like mid to late 30s, and my husband and I actually separated for a couple years. And the first part of that separation, somebody asked me, "Well, what do you like to do? Like what do you do like when you don't have the kids?" And I was like, "What do you mean not have the kids? Like I drive to football practice. I drive to cheer practice. I'm a soccer mom. I'm a team mom. Like, what do you mean?" And I found all of a sudden, like, this little bit of extra time sharing my kids with, my husband, that I was like, what do I like to do?
Right.
Like, who am I? And what's crazy about that is, like, specifically my spray tan training and services, I don't gear a lot of my content or a lot of my marketing efforts to young girls. There's a place for them. There's a lot of people want to service them, want to train them. And I think it's amazing. And I will always, obviously service and train them. But
Right.
all of my marketing efforts goes to those older women because we understand how lost we get in our families. And when
Yep.
you get to a point where one, separation and divorce, you have to build some financial independence. And I think spray tanning has definitely done it for you and I.
Yes.
Being in the industry, you haven't been in it that long. I mean, I don't
No.
feel like I've been in the industry when we're coming in this together, and I don't feel like I've been here that long. In the amount of time that I have found you in the industry, I have watched you, and I think the first time I found you was your J Lo spray tan for inauguration. And from there, I have seen you at every swim week in Miami, every New York Fashion Week, the amazing Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. I need to know how, if you've been in this industry for such a short amount of time, how did you find yourself getting involved and being welcome into those spaces? Because these girls out here can barely get, Michelle down the street from the knitting class to get into their studio. How are you finding yourself in these spaces that are just phenomenal?
I always want to say it always makes me feel bad when artists say, even just one thing you've done is my aspiration or my goal. Please know that a lot of that for me was time. I had time. I had the space in that marriage. Second of all, I don't live in, and no offense to this, but some small town in Kansas or some small town in Georgia, or I'm a small town Oklahoma girl. I do not believe that I would have had these opportunities when I lived in Chickasha, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I live in Dallas, and it is definitely a hot spot for people to live. It's one of the top places in the whole entire country, because of just how well priced our houses and our school systems are. So a lot of people want to live here. And so I had a lot of, things come my way by way of where I live.
Yeah.
And I kind of think once you get that big J-Lo moment, or once you get it just, your name kind of circulates in those circles.
There are tons of solution out here. There's
Yes.
some great ones and there's some definitely not so great ones. And so
Yeah.
I think with the access that we have to like being able to manufacture, solutions and aftercare and pre-tan stuff and all these different things where we were talking about earlier how much easier it is to be able to have access to those things where it may not be as expensive as it used to be, or you don't have to have the types of connections that you used to have.
Right.
What was it specifically that you saw in the spray tan industry where you were just like, I got to turn this around. I got to give these girls something else besides what I'm using or what I've seen other girls use to help this industry and make these girls look absolutely phenomenal?
That's a pretty powerful question. Definitely have an answer for that. I am obviously from the South. We love bleach on our hair. We love bleach on our teeth. We have drops that go in our eyes to make them whiter. I have fuller lips. I still want filler in my lips. So what? It's just all the things. There is a dermatology office or a cosmetic, esthetician on every corner. And so in the South, I feel like we are a little DHA resistant. Everything has self tanner in it these days. But I also love, love, love bronzers. I know there's a place for clear solutions in the industry. I definitely respect it. DHA tans us the same way in which the sun tans us. And by nature, I tan a little bit golden. And so my favorite part of the tan is always those first few days with the dyes. So again, no slam to any other solution. I'm speaking for mine. I wanted it to be, there wasn't going to be a natural solution coming out of my bones. I love it. And it's needed. I needed bronzer. Around the time I was coming out with mine, there was a solution company, and again, no ill will towards them. They had like a 20% solution. And I, just remember talking to some people in the industry, chemists and stuff like that. It's too much. You're not gonna be able to use that on anybody over 22 because the dry, so I had all of these things that I wanted. I wanted it to dry fast. I also saw a need because so many solution lines have so many solutions. I knew I wanted to streamline and there's so many artists that just use Swim Week.
I love the fact that you bring up the fact that, higher DHA doesn't mean better. And I love the fact that you are reliant on bronzers because there's people in the industry who don't believe in, the different types of, cosmetic bronzers. And I tell a lot of people all the time that, it's very hard for you to join like spray tan forums on Facebook because not everybody's from Texas.
Right.
Not everybody's from Seattle. Like what, Nicole in Seattle is going to use in her opinion of bronzers and DHA is going to be far different than, Tiffany in, Miami. Like
Right.
there's such a big difference. So spray tan forums sometimes kind of scare me because
Yeah.
you can ask a question and get 5 different answers. And it doesn't mean that any of those answers are wrong. It just means that it's right for the person who's answering the question. I know you have your own forum on Facebook for Bronze Me Baby. So if you are a Bronze Me Baby user, please make sure you join her Facebook group page because you got all the great info and tips and stuff in there. But I know that I see specific questions from newer spray tan artists, older spray tan artists. What is it that you wish spray tan artists would understand more of when it comes to spray tan solution? We talked about DHA and the percentages and bronzers. What is it that you wish they would really dial down to understand? One, just as a technician in general, but two, somebody using your solution.
The last several emails that I have gotten, or however they choose to get a hold of me, it's this panic. Oh my gosh, I just got this influencer. They want to be super dark. How many drops of DHA do I need to add to Swim Week? They want to be super dark. Should I mix it? I think we've gotten as a whole in this industry the thought that we cannot depend on one solution. This solution, period, end of conversation, was created for a purpose and will stand alone. It's all about processing times. It's not about mixing. When Swim Week's bronzer, you can't compete. It's absolutely chef's kiss if you're looking for a chocolate brown tan. So why would you want to add in a solution that has more gold in it, or when we're talking about 1% difference, 14 to 15%? So I think I wished, and it's crazy because it's a lot of seasoned artists that have been in the industry a lot longer than me. I don't think really understand. We just feel like if we're not cocktailing and mixing, then we aren't advanced, right? It's like we get into this, we custom mix. I've said it myself. I'm not condemning anyone for saying that. but you don't have to. And I was told a long time ago before I started my solution company, and I don't remember who told this to me. I need to think really hard and give them credit, but find a solution line, learn it, master it, know it frontwards and backwards and sideways, and your clientele will level up. Another thing that is hard for me, and I just got several emails this morning, is I am known for my fast shipping. That's because of my OCD, probably not because I'm amazing or I'm the best businesswoman in the world. But if, like right now on my cell phone, I see the Shopify's and it's just like, so a lot of emails that I've been getting are, hey, it's so and so glow. I just booked a spray tan party this weekend on Thursday. It's Tuesday night. I got to order, like it'll be here by Thursday, right? Stop. The last 20 emails I have probably gotten about that. I wish as an industry now, I understand we're dealing with an expired product. I understand we don't want to waste our money. I understand fast, quick brought on bookings, but do not leave it up to UPS, right? To be faithful to get this to you quickly. We have hurricanes, we have storms, we have fires, we have shipping centers that have wind damage, roofs blown off. Like, so I wish that my artist would be a little more prepared.
And I think people have to remember that we're not these big corporations that have hands on staff besides our own,
Right.
for 24 hours a day. So remember that these are literally our hands packaging things and printing things and putting labels and doing all the things. Like most of this is one woman shows. Like we're doing this kind of on our own, and have some grace. Like, what do you see coming in terms of trends that you're? It's so funny that we talked about this because I just saw Jimmy Coco talk about this on his Instagram page about trends and some things that he was thinking that were coming down the pipeline. Do you see specific things coming through the sunless industry that are getting you excited about what's to come?
One thing I want to say, Gina, you know how much I respect you in the industry and I love your training.
Thanks.
I feel like, and I'm a trainer myself,
Mhm.
I feel like you are business. Like you are about business and getting women when they come in. I just know I've talked to so many people you've trained and I love it. And I do in salon training. It is not cheap. We have to shut down the salon,
Right.
so when I say my price for 4 hours, I'm also not able to take clients. And I want to speak to this because we both are trainers. I was never formally trained. So I am not hating on anybody that doesn't. I did not have, when I look at you and tell you, there was no $1,850 for me to show. So there was no option. I didn't even know there was training
Right.
because I wasn't in the industry. A group of girls came into my salon in May and they were the cutest little girls. They were all local cheerleaders at a high school and they all wanted to come together. So I gave them all their instructions at one time and then sent them out in the hallway and spray tan and whatever. And so I'm finishing up with one, put her in the hallway and the next group, and I hear them all out in the hall talking. And one of them was like, oh my gosh, whatever this lady's name was, we're so thankful that your tans don't look like hers. Now, I did not want to know her name. I did not ask them her name, but I was so curious on the training side of things. So I said, what's wrong with her? Oh my God. First of all, she sprays in her shower. So I knew it's just a mama trying to make money. Good for her. Like I love that. So my heart was with her. But what she did to herself, she almost killed herself before she got big enough to be able to handle a salon. They were like, her tans are all orange. She tanned 8 of us in a party. She got a hold of my mom and she tanned all of us. We were all Oompa Loompas. Our ears were covered. Look at this picture. They had a picture. They were all cheerleaders. Look at the back of our legs, right? What that mama did, I love her heart. And if I would have known who she was, I probably would have trained her for free because I was in her spot. But what she did by doing it so inexpensively and cheaply and just doing it in her shower, I knew exactly her blueprint. She killed herself. Nobody will tan with her. Everybody, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, my mom is putting you, Miss Keri, in the group chat. Like nobody's ever going to go back to her, right?" Yeah, $1,850 is a lot to train with me, Gina. I don't know how much yours is, and you can watch a YouTube video.
Mhm.
You can watch a YouTube video on how to do heart surgery. It's on there. You could and deliver a baby. And if I had to deliver a baby, I'd probably pull you two up and look, but I don't. So I just want to say that about our trainings. I wish one thing as an artist, if I could have gone back, I would have saved a lot of time and trouble and issues. I wish I would have known and gotten and invested in the training.
I think training is one thing. I think a lot of us we can. I mean, you can only spray tan so many ways. Like, I mean, we're teaching girls how to spray tan, but I think what the most important part I know specifically about mine and your training is the mentorship that comes
Yep.
after that training. You can't have specific questions to ask until you get bodies in front of you, right?
Right.
And you don't know how to scale your business a year after training if you don't have somebody who you trained with a year ago to help you with that next step,
Yep.
right?
That's exactly right.
And I think the mentorship part is, I think that is what's worth the cost of training is, you
Yep.
can go take a $99 training and you'll get some basic stuff. You may learn one solution, you may learn some basic positions, but you're going to not have anybody there to
Right.
ask questions to as you go on the journey of your business. And that's what I find where girls come to me and they're like, man, I wish I would have found you 3 months ago.
Yep.
Man, I watched all your videos and I just didn't want to invest that much, so I did the
Yep.
cheaper one. And now you're having to reinvest in a whole new thing, and that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see girls who say, "I went and did this training, I paid this much, and I didn't get anything that even
Yep.
just like my free content has given them."
I love that. And you know what? When you're mine, when you train with me, you're mine.
Yep.
You are mine. And one thing, because I do have emails that are full from Solution, I do have the salon, I do have my mentorship, I do trainings, I have another job. I have an influx. I could sit on the phone all day. So if just a random person asks me a question, of course they're going to get an answer from me because if you don't get an answer from me, then something's wrong. But my girls get this long of an answer.
Right.
Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, yes, overnight would be great. Or, oh, yes, 4 hours.
Yeah.
But when you come to train with me, we're not just learning technique as is with you. We are talking about skin conditions,
Yes.
how to recognize this. You can actually see if somebody's got a if they're on thyroid medicine or this, or if they're doing hormone pellets, not to, it's just so much more.
Yes.
And so when you invest with us, like you get us, like you're mine.
Now, because I know you are such a girl's girl, I have seen you at other events. I've seen you embrace other events. I've seen you embrace other people who put on events. I am finally so excited to let you announce that you are now putting on your own exclusive event. Like, how freaking phenomenal is this going to be? I want to give you a space. Again, if you are not following Miss Keri's Bronze Me Baby Facebook page and her forum, you need to get in there so that you can get all this exclusive stuff because we get to learn about things that she's got going on before anybody else does. So you got to be in there. So tell me,
Yes.
what are you doing and why is it so impactful to you?
This is my first event solo, and it is dear to my heart. So when I launched Swim Week, it just went insane. Well, several months after that, people were like, we need an overnight. I only spray late at night. I'm a dental hygienist, whatever. So I launched Swim Week overnight. It's called Sleepover. My dear friend Liz LeBlanc, she's in Mississippi. She's one of my very close friends. And she was like, Keri, you need to take the sleepover tour, like, and do conference. I mean, she kind of birthed this in me and for me. Like, she had this great idea. And I was like, yeah, yeah. I mean, we did one in Mississippi, massively successful, changed those girls' lives. We called it a mastermind because they all had to be in the industry.
Mhm.
Girl, if you could read, I have sat and read their reviews and bawled. And now they're like, so my dear friends. Anyway, so that was last year and in the spring. And so it's finally happening. And I am launching the sleepover tour and we are going all over. My business partner is Ashley Bivens. She owns Sprayed in Tulsa. She is another one of my dear friends. I trained her. She came to me years ago with her mom. She's an Oklahoma girl. And so it was just a match made in heaven.
I met Ashley at the
Yep.
Unfiltered conference. She has become a very good friend of mine. I like, and you become Instagram friends,
Yeah.
in one place. And I have watched her. I talked to her. We've shared up and downs in the industry. She is one of the sweetest women I have met in this industry. She is very sweet.
Our brands align. I'm disco, she's ball, like when we call each other, what's up, ball? She's like, what's up, disco? We finish each other's sentences. We're both very strong believers in our faith. Everything about us lines politically, religion, God, everything, our moral compass. And so she's kind of been wanting to do something in the industry. She'd call me with an idea to run it by me. I'm like, that's a horrible idea. That won't work. I did this, then, and so when this happened, it only made sense that it was Ash. So we have launched it. We are doing our first one in San Antonio, the 24th through the 27th. And it's in the most adorable Barbie dream house with a roller skating rink and hot saunas and hot tubs outside and black and white striped patio furniture. And we're having a barbecue under the stars and intense training. Ashley's teaching on some really incredible things. We've got a couple of guest speaker pop-ins by video. Grant with Happy Tans is launching our website. Hopefully we get it done this week. I haven't heard from Gary. Ashley, I don't know if Ashley has. We're taking this on the road. And the thing that's, I think, different, you know, there are so many conferences in this industry to go to, and it's wonderful. And there's one here, there's one there, there's one all over. And you have to find what you need. Some are more business minded, some are more technique minded, some are. This one, what I wanted to create in my vision was like a sorority, like a stamp of sisterhood. We have some things that are just going to be life changing that we are working on right now. We're going to have secret handshakes. I've hired a cocktailist, and we have a VIB martini, a very important baddie martini, because baddie is one of my solution names. So we have just some fun. We have a night out on the town. We're already looking at our next location, our next 2 or 3 locations. So we launched it to Me Babyy Solution Group, and we are already half sold out. We're doing a Happy Tans podcast with Grant in a couple of weeks. We haven't launched it to any other forums. We've not gone public with it. Ashley hasn't spoken about it on her page, and I haven't sent out one email, and I have probably an email list of over 2,000. So we're excited.
I think we have spray tan conferences. I don't think we have enough. Like, I really don't. I think that we can have more, and I think that we can have them in more places than just LA, just, those specific spots. I think the more that we can have, the better, because
Yep.
like you said, everybody brings something so different, and you learn something different from
Yep.
each one of those.
Sometimes you do want to go to a conference and just blend into the background and just go and get what you need to get, right? I had a girl tell me that she wanted to come to this one because it spoke to her, because she craves the intimacy. Mm-hmm. I had another girl tell me, I just kind of have moved to a new city. I just really don't have friends. I need that connection. And let me just tell you, when you come to an event of mine, and I'm there, but when you come to an event, you're going to leave with some of the best friends that you've ever had, because it's one of my giftings is building bridges. None of us think we're pretty. None of us think we're good enough. We all compare ourselves. We're all the things. And so mine and Ashley's heart with this is going to be bridge builders, and to connect this special set of girls. Every single event is going to bring something special and something different every single place we go. I think this first one is going to be really special because it's really our first official event. But I love connecting people and that intimacy. Cry with me. Let me cry with you. I mean, the stuff that happens in these conferences, it's crazy. It doesn't happen in the bigger ones. It can, right? I've had bigger conferences. They're just a little more, formal.
I think you need to know that it doesn't take a conference to be big or small to feel the effects of how much you love on people. Because I saw you at Slay, and
Yep.
instantly felt like we were besties, and we had only known each other on Instagram, and we watched each other's content. And you have a way of making people feel so welcome within seconds of meeting them. And that's a very, very powerful characteristic to have. And it's not seen very often anymore. And I think it's going to speak volumes for what your event is going to do for these ladies. So I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for Ashley to be involved. I'm excited to be able to partner in any way that I can, always, and be whatever you need me to be. I'll make Mexican rice if you need it.
Gina, here's the deal, girlfriend. I'm coming for you. I'm going to make the Carolinas work. We're also putting your husband on duty. He's going to be videographer. He's got to leave at 9 p.m.
He has been trained well to know how to do this.
Honey, you think I don't look at your content and know there's somebody behind that camera? That's not on our tripod stand. So he's hired, but You will, when we come that way or anytime, you are coming because you know how much I love you and
Yes.
you know what I think about you.
Thank you so much for taking some time for me and letting girls know who you are. I felt it in my heart that you need to be on a bigger stage, and I don't have a big stage, but whatever stage I have, you are welcome to stand
Oh,
next to me and above it. So I want you and your solution line and your events and all of the business things that you are involved in to be broadcasted. So this was my effort to be able to help do that.
wow.
And I'm so excited. I think more women need to know about your solution. I think it's gone viral so many times on TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram. And now I want to try to make sure everybody on YouTube knows that this is something that you definitely need to check out, be on the radar of, and understand how great this solution is. So thank you so much for giving me just that little bit of time. And I love you so much. And I can't wait to talk to you some more and be at some events.
Oh, it's going to happen. Just mark my words, it's going to happen. And I love you, Gina. And thank you. And thank you to your audience members.
Put a link down in the description for all of your stuff. We're going to put all of your contact info. I'm going to put all of the ways to follow you, your forums, your TikTok, your Instagrams, all the places. And I'm super excited to see what the future holds for us.
Gina, thank you so much.